Please don't bother me, I'm on my lunch break. Pizza, burger, sandwich, lunch break, tofu, salad, hot dog, lunch break.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Lunch Break. I'm AJ.
I'm Kathleen.
And today we are joined by a very special guest, Cara DeLalla.
Yes, hi, how are you? I'm like, when do I say something?
No, you're okay.
Whenever you want.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
And you own MeatBallerz.
Yes.
Along with your mother.
I do.
Who is not with us right today.
No, her alter ego is Mama Balls, though, but
Oh.
she isn't with us today.
Okay.
She does all the cooking. It's all her recipes.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And you just opened a cafe?
Yeah. We originated as a food truck, MeatBallerz food truck, and now we just opened up a little cafe inside of the Truck and Tap in Alpharetta just to kind of diversify, give people another place to find us, and just to get MeatBallerz as well as Italian food out there in people's faces a little more.
So you're a permanent fixture now in Truck and Tap.
Yes, permanent fixture. Took over all the food operations in there. So
Are they still going to have other food trucks there?
yeah, they're going to still have
Okay.
food trucks every day starting at 4 p.m. and 3 p.m. on Saturdays. And then like we're not open on Monday or Saturday, so they'll maintain the trucks at that time as well.
Very cool.
How long have you guys been there?
Oh, it's just been about a week now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we're doing the breakfast and lunch, and then we do late night as well. So like now they actually have real food on the menu. It's like wings and some other cool Italian inspired stuff that's like snacking late night food.
Yeah.
What has the response been?
It's been really awesome and positive for the people that have come in. You know, I think that we're definitely trying to change the perception of what Truck and Tap is, because we're trying to convince people to come in for something now that's more of a traditional restaurant instead of an actual, food truck and bar. So we're like, hey, we have hot coffee and, come in, we have eggs, and so but the response of the people who have eaten it are like really shocked. And they're like, I never thought I'd eat a meatball with my omelet or with an egg, or I never thought I'd eat Italian sausage for breakfast. And I'm like, yeah, we're trying to show a different style of eating breakfast.
So that is interesting that you offer Italian food for breakfast.
Yes.
So how did you come up with that idea? Was it you had some
It's just how
woke
I
up one
grew up.
morning and had some leftover meatballs in the fridge?
Totally. That's how it's happened. When your mom makes gravy on Sunday, it's like the next week you're eating that. So you're making it all kinds of ways. You're making sandwiches, you're making breakfast with it because you just want to utilize, and every day it gets a little more marinated, a little more tasty. So yeah, we did it growing up. We would eat mozzarella and marinara omelets, and we were just like, wow, we could really do this on a larger scale. So,
That's creative.
yeah, thank you. It tastes excellent. And we also have vegetarian options and things that people... Yeah, the Vincenzo has been a huge hit, actually. And it's a really awesome dish. Lots of color, lots of aromatic things going on, which is... You can definitely smell. We have very aromatic food, too. So
I guess that is a good thing to point out with a name like MeatBallerz. It's good to know that there are vegetarian options for those interested.
Of course. Not vegan yet, necessarily, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
Well, as the show vegetarian, I appreciate that.
Of
so
course.
Thank you.
Well, I'll run you back a caprese grilled cheese later. But yeah, so we have all kinds of awesome dishes. There's lunch focus too. But right now we just want to showcase a different side. We have a big following on the food truck, and we hope to have the same happen here in Alpharetta, because we know it's a really great tight-knit community, and word spreads when people like something. So we're hoping you'll come out and like us.
Yeah, for sure. Do you still have the food truck too?
We do. It's still out there running, and you can find it all around the city. We post our schedule on Facebook, so you can definitely come and find the food truck, and that's a lot different dining experience. So we wanted to show, hey, when you come here, you're going to get different, but the same, so it's MeatBallerz, but no eggs or anything like that. It's more garlic knots and, finger foods and pizza, stuff like that.
Stuff to eat while you're standing up.
Yes, correct. That's the best way to think of it.
Yeah.
So is your family... this is going to sound really dumb. Is your family Italian?
Yeah, my mom is. My mother's Italian. My father's Armenian. So I got kind of a mix of a lot of food growing up in general, but definitely the tight-knit Italian family and the meatballs and the sauce. It was like a way of coming together for us all the time. So that was, the part that I identified culturally with. But yeah, my mom's from New York. Grandpa's first generation from Italy. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, he was born in Italy. came over when he was like 1. So
That's
it's
nuts.
pretty cool. Yeah.
So go ahead. You can go ahead.
Ooh.
Does he try your food and does he give you like really harsh critiques being from Italy?
I know it's hard. This is going to be a hard comment to make, but both my grandparents are passed away on that side of my family. So I think now it's just cementing the legacy. You know, my mom too, you know, she's cooked this food for me my whole life. So I feel it's like really important that people know that.
Yeah.
Is that where all the... I'm sorry.
Oh no, I love it. I get emotional about what we do. You know, I love, like, I feel honored that people eat my family's recipes. So
Yeah.
And so that's where all of the recipes come from, are
All
passed
the
down
base.
generation.
yeah, totally. All the basis of everything is from those recipes, and then you know we've gotten a little more creative over the years. I mean, definitely things my grandma and grandpa didn't do, but all the base of the meatballs, the sauce, the gravy, the techniques, the way we do the milk and stale bread, all that stuff is really essential to what makes the food, and that came from
Now,
generations.
you've referenced gravy on a few occasions. Is this just like...
Marinara sauce,
Okay.
just like that's for oh yeah.
Because I'm thinking of like biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, that's
and
what
I'm
I was
like,
thinking of too.
well, because you were mentioning like breakfast food, and then it's like, I don't know, you put gravy on spaghetti?
Oh yeah, that's probably a good reference to make for the general public. And it says it on our menu too, and we get that question all the time. Being in the South, you know, is that brown gravy? And I'm like, no, it's we refer to it because it takes hours of slow cooking to really make the sauce. And it's just like always been referred to in 2 ways, either the sauce or the gravy, depending on where your family is from. So we always called it the gravy growing up, you know.
That makes so much more sense because when you were talking about your mom making a batch on Sunday, I thought, why would she just spend her Sunday making a whole bunch of gravy? Like, what are you going to do with it? But it makes more sense. Marinara seems a little more versatile than gravy.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's it's gravy is marinara, and for us, so whenever you're reading our menu, it's not brown gravy, it's not Swedish meatballs, they're Italian meatballs. So
Do you guys eat meatballs for every holiday and family event?
definitely not. We're super Southern Italian too. So I grew up in the South, whereas my family's from a lot of the North. So you know, I like eating turkey. I like eating traditional food. So we try to keep it to once or twice a year, and then it's really a treat. Because especially living around it, like I eat so many meatball sandwiches, it's ridiculous. And now the new breakfast menu, a lot of eggs with meatballs, and the Vincenzo is really good. So yeah, but at least twice a year. New Year's often. That's like kind of our holiday that we eat Italian. And my mom makes stuffed shells and all this, so which we offer in our catering. A vast majority of Italian dishes, anything you could think of, we can pretty much cater and make, which is cool. So we really try to tailor everything we do to the customers that we're working for or with,
So you touched on it a little bit. So there's three different aspects of the business right now. Mm-hmm. You have the food truck.
Right.
You have the shop inside of Truck and Tap. And you also have the catering business.
Yes, full scale, full service catering, or even just drop off, all kind of styles. So yeah, I think it's all about diversity. People can't always make it to a food truck. They can't always make it to your restaurant. I think I thought the lines would be out the door. We have so many followers, but all of our followers are very spread out on the food truck. So, you're really in a new market, and you really are trying to gain followership really from the local community. Like, for example, here in Alpharetta. Mm-hmm. And then the catering is to really cater to, hey, we have a family thing. We've done 15 people, and we've done 300 people. So it really just depends on what you need. We try to work around that. If you want casual, if you want fancy, we can put it on white plates for you. And we've done that. So yeah, it's really exciting. I like to just show our craft all different ways. That's what I like to do. So
How did the collaboration with, Truck and Tap? I always say it wrong. How did that one come about?
Oh, I got lucky, I guess. We went there as a food truck. We go to all 3 locations. So they have Woodstock as the flagship, and then Alpharetta, and now Duluth, which is a beautiful one if you guys haven't heard about it. And so we would go to all their locations, and they're always eating my food, which is, when people actually come back and keep coming back, that's such a, rewarding feeling. So they said, hey, we have a need, like we're serving White Castle burgers and stuff at night, can you help us out? And I was just like, yeah. And they said, well, there's not a lot of breakfast or brunch in the area. You think that's in your wheelhouse? I said, strangely enough, we have a menu that we have sold for that. Mm-hmm. So we kind of tweaked it a little and made it more restaurant friendly and sent it out over. And they were like, wow, this looks really unique. And I think sometimes you can get a brunch for Italian on a Sunday at an Italian restaurant. It's not like we're inventing something completely new. But what we're doing is we're giving it to you all day, every day. until 3 or 4 p.m. If you want an omelet at 12 o'clock, you can get it, and you can get it in a unique way. So yeah, and so they just asked us, and it's been a great thing because it's a beautiful facility. And for a first timer, in the brick and mortar realm, it's a great starting point to really see what we're made of, and no matter what happens, I'm so proud of the food that we're putting out. So it's really good product.
That is definitely a good opportunity. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot more followers looking for you guys.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm excited to be here and to be able to talk about it. So yeah.
Did you do a lot of research ahead of time when you were going to open up the brick and mortar, or was it kind of like a spur of the moment, right place, right time, and then it was just...
That was literally it.
Yeah.
I've always been an opportunist, and I felt like, this was a good testing, put my foot, because we actually have our own store that's supposed to be opening in June of next year in Chambly Tucker. So it'll be on the other side of town, closer, more in town. And that is like completely our own operation. It's a lot. So I was like, this is a good opportunity to test what I can really make happen and to see how the customers connect. And the cool thing is every concept that we're creating is the heart of it is MeatBallerz, but we're changing it in a little bit every way, So it's like if you want to come to the cafe one day, you're going to get a totally different experience than if you find us at a United tailgate or, because we just do it all. And then if you come to the restaurant, maybe you get a pan of lasagna, whereas you couldn't get that on the other place. So, that's what we want to keep people just addicted to the food and give you diversify the menu. So it's like what you're used to having, but different.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite item?
Oh man,
If
it's
you have
hard.
one.
It's hard. The ball in a hole. That's what we're most famous for. That's what I brought y'all today for your little lunch break.
Yeah.
And they're meatball sandwiches made in bread bowls. And so we have a breakfast version where we add an egg. Yeah, and it's really awesome. Think of it as like putting an egg on a burger. So yeah, you eat it like a burger. It's all compact, and people want to usually get in there with a fork and knife. And I'm like, look, to really just have this, pick it up. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Smush it down a little and eat it. And it's nice. It's neat.
Well, I'm gonna take one out of
open
here.
it up. Yeah, look at it. And so that's my favorite. And I like the Roma, but our best seller is actually the Pompeii, which is a spicy meatball. But the Roma is a good classic. That's the Pompeii there. Yeah. And so we stamp all of our own paper products. We try to make everything eco-friendly, which is really important to us. So if you notice, you got a brown paper bag, you got it wrapped in paper.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is recyclable, even
Holy
our forks.
cow.
So yeah, there it is.
We'll post a picture to Facebook. That is like a sandwich. Holy cow. Look at that thing.
intense.
Oh, it's still hot. Yes. See the steam coming off.
It's like a ciabatta roll.
Well, it's called an Italian boule. So
Italian
it's
boule.
basically like a bread bowl, but it's made with this kind of really crusty, light Italian bread. So we basically said we want you to take an Italian loaf and make it into little bowls.
That's a heavy sandwich. Like I just picked it up, and it has some weight to it.
5.5 ounces of meatball in
Oh,
there.
wow.
Oh yeah.
Is it one big meatball or
One giant ball. And people can come in and just buy giant meatballs too, if they don't want the bread. So.
Yeah. So versatile.
That's a good sandwich.
Oh, it's so good. I'm glad you like it.
I'm not gonna. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'll
Eat
give
the
you a
whole
napkin.
thing. No.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's the flavor. Everything is it's hand cut, locally sourced meat from butchers.
Oh, yeah?
Patton's Meat Market.
Okay.
Yeah, they do our meat for us, except for the sausage product comes from a local company called Fontanini, and they do all Italian specialty meats. But yeah,
It does have a little heat to it.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
you're gonna need a
it's
little-
not too much. It's not overbearing. It's like the right amount.
yeah, like you're eating something spicy.
It smells good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Were you once a meat eater?
Yeah, back in elementary school.
Oh, so it's been that long, huh? Wow.
But actually, ironic, I guess.
Uh-oh.
It is to me. I ate veggie meatballs today
Oh.
for lunch.
Oh.
Yeah, I was telling him, I'm like, this is kind of funny that we have meatballers on the show, and I just ate veggie meatballs.
And how were they? I mean, we were thinking
Very
about
good.
trying it, doing a
It's-
quinoa or...
Yeah, yeah.
Black bean maybe.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it would be easy to. I mean, I say that I've never made it. I would assume it'd be easy.
Well, now they have impossible meat, so it is possible to get the impossible meat now. So
Yeah.
people have asked, "Hey, will you make a meatball at that?" I mean, we're not closed off to anything. My mom never made a turkey meatball in her life until we started this business. And then I said, "Mom, we got to make a meatball with something other than pork and beef because that's what we grew up with, And that's when we came up with the turkey. And she was crying, "I don't know if I can make a turkey meatball." I'm like, "Just try it." Came out really good. I said, if you just do the same amount of love and what you do with the other food, so, yeah, that's it. It's full of flavor. People don't ever need salt and pepper and stuff with our food, which is really a blessing.
I guess the turkey would be a little bit more heart health conscious.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
More lean and, all that. So
If you ever need a taste tester for the veggie balls, let me know.
I will let you know. You're close. You're very
Yeah,
close.
yeah, I'd be
I can
happy
get
to
over
test it
here in a
out.
flash.
I thought you were going to say, like, because you just moved in with your boyfriend, Chris, and I thought you were going to say, oh, I'm not vegetarian anymore. I thought it was going to be like
No,
a
I
big
am.
I know. I was
reveal.
like, I was like,
No, I
Yeah.
still am.
I don't know.
is Chris a meat eater?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. I just went out last night with a vegan. And I was like, this is going to be a tough one. Like I'm a foodie to the maximum, just travel around and all I'm doing is planning where I'm going to eat. So
Did you go to a vegan restaurant?
no, we went to a place with non-vegan. We went to just like a Mexican restaurant, but he got guac. So typical vegan move. You know?
Yeah. Well, I feel like a Mexican restaurant's a safe bet for
Yeah, you can get like
vegetarian.
fajitas with beans and vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, but vegan is on that next level. I mean, he doesn't even eat eggs.
It's hard. I've been trying, but it's hard.
It's so hard. Animal byproducts. I mean, cheese.
in everything.
I love
It's
cheese.
tough. Yeah, I know. I don't think I could give that up.
I'm working
So-
on it.
Yeah. So let's go over some of the other items on the menu. So you
course.
have the meatball, and then you
Yes.
have, it looks like, paninis. Also.
Yes, we got some sandwiches on that for the lunch aspect. So we got our meatball sandwich that you just had there. We have a cold Italian take on like an Italian meat sub, cold cut sub. And then we also have the vegetarian caprese sandwich. And that one's with some buffalo mozzarella. It's real fresh. We do Roma tomato. So giving people an option. And then the Big New Yorker, which has been a huge hit over here in Alpharetta. And that's the sausage, peppers, and onions. And that's a very New York sandwich. So we just did a little play on that. Put it in the same bread and sauced and cheesed it, and
Gravy.
It's awesome. Little gravy. Yeah.
I'm going to start using that term now.
I know.
Yeah. If you're in the right Italian restaurant, they might actually know what you're talking about.
So would you call it spaghetti and gravy instead of like spaghetti and meat sauce?
I guess you don't really even say spaghetti so much. We don't. We just would say pasta. And it
Just
was just
applied.
always like whatever my mom was making that week was always different. Could have
Yeah.
been tagliatelle, could have been spaghetti. So we just always say pasta and gravy. So we don't ever specify in my family. Unless it's like stuffed shells, or something like
Something
you
very
want to
different,
yeah.
yeah.
really call it out.
So how did you start off with the food truck? Like, how did it kind of come about? It was just, making stuff in the kitchen. You're like, hey, we could, turn this into a business. And then how did you go from like, I could do this to like doing it?
Yeah. Well, I started wanting to do it in college because I've traveled a lot in my life and always been obsessed with street food. So didn't happen at that time. Turned 30 and just asked my mom. I said, look, I don't want to go another year forward in my life not pursuing at least one like true dream or goal that I had, which was this food truck really resonated with me for years that I wanted to have it. So it culminated from an idea. I got creative to get some money because I had good credit at the time and good, that was utilized that to make it happen. And I got all the funding secured. And once I did that, my mom said, okay, I'm here. And she also secured some funding for me too. So, and so we took that money and we got on Craigslist and we found a food truck. I bought it in Florida, which in 2020 hindsight, I would not have done. I bought my second truck that we switched out all the equipment here locally so I could stock the person that sold it to me if there was any issues. But luckily it was a good truck. So the first truck, we had a lot of trials and tribulations. I mean, it broke down 56, 60 times.
Holy cow.
Spent countless days on the back of a tow truck. At 1 week at a time, we would be towing to every event just to get there. People would be like clapping when we'd be coming in. We went to the set of what's that one movie? It was a superhero movie done at over at Marvel Studios,
The
which
Avengers?
is here. No, it's the one with
Was it Ant-Man?
No, I wish it was Ant-Man though. I love
Paul
Paul
Rudd?
Rudd.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't the Ant-Man. It was what is that guy with the brown hair, the shorter one?
Chris Pine?
Chris Pine. What's
With,
the one he does?
Captain America?
Captain America.
Okay.
So we went to
Sure.
Captain America.
I'll trust you guys.
And when we were pulling in, I mean, everyone was clapping, and then my friend put "towed in especially for you" on the sign. So people were just loving it because they saw this like really true determination.
Yeah.
Which is what it took me. People were saying, "Wow, you guys are really going through a lot," and I'm like, "We're not giving up. The food is really good. And, one by one, it just worked out. This year we got a new truck, so that was amazing. So it started from an idea, and I just moved really quickly on it because I knew at that point the laws had kind of loosened. Things were getting better in the city for food trucks, and made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just have one truck that you drive around?
Yep, just one big truck now.
Got
Used
rid
to
of-
be a small mail truck called Vinny. Christo is the Vinny part 2, and he's like bigger and
Upgraded.
more reliable upgrade. Yeah, my brother couldn't even. He had to hunch over for like 2.5 years.
You couldn't stand up
You
in
couldn't
it?
go upright because it was like literally like a 6 foot. If you were in this one corner, you had like enough to go full upright. But I mean, yeah. So he was like the happiest when he saw an 8 foot ceiling coming in the new truck. He was like, I can stand upright. And I was like, yep, sure can't. So yeah, it's been really great. We just have the one truck for now, and maybe someday another one. But we got to keep that other one working.
Yeah.
Like a workhorse first.
So do you have other siblings or just one brother?
I have a sister and then another brother too. So I have 3 siblings and 4 of us total. So
Is it just you and your one brother who work?
yeah,
for the company?
my sister's out of state and so is my other brother. So yep, just my brother here. Cameron, he's like my right hand man too. He does a lot of driving the truck and working the late night shifts, and yeah, because we do Big Sky Bar on the weekends till 3:30 in the morning.
Oh,
So it's a
wow.
great way to find
Which one is that?
late night
Is that
eats.
in the city?
It's in Buckhead.
Oh, okay.
It's a really cool bar. It's actually one of my favorite ones. It's a 2-story kind of Colorado style bar with like a lot of open wood, and you can look out over the city of Buckhead. And they bring us out there. We go from midnight to 3:30. And we're just trying to tell people, don't go to Waffle House anymore.
Yeah, really?
Come and eat something better for late night, because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of places you can really go, and it's crazy because there's people out and they want to eat. So.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure you get a lot of business.
Of course, it's an easy demographic.
Yeah, really.
To say the least. They're drunk, so they want to eat. They're about to leave. They're like, "What's gonna get me there?" I'm like, "This sandwich is what's gonna get you there."
They probably order like 4 and then eat half a bite.
I know, and then eat half a bite.
Yeah.
I see it all the time. No,
I'm with
people
you.
actually eat this and remember it, which is shocking to me. Like, I'll have people come up to me in like a corporate environment, like I'll be in Colony Square. Oh yeah, I get your food at Buckhead. I'm like, you remember eating it?
That's cool.
Yeah, it feels good.
So what advice would you give someone? So I have pipe dreams of, opening my own restaurant. We actually interviewed Louis Soon down at Butcher and Brew.
Oh my
a
God, I
couple episodes ago.
love him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, you guys are, in the same area.
I
Downtown
actually
Alpha.
just met him. We went and
Yeah.
ate there. A great experience.
Yeah.
Love the vibe in
Yeah.
there, the style.
So, I was trying to pick his brain about like, what did you learn on, what did you learn on the job that you didn't know going in? So is there any advice that you could give?
It's always the same. Just spend all your money on the truck. Buy the best truck and then just figure out the rest. Don't spend $100,000, but
Yeah.
I got friends that spent $200,000 on a truck. That's excessive. But just really get a mechanic that you trust. Go out there, find a good truck, because without that, or even get a trailer. Get a trailer. That's me being honest, because my friends that did that and then kind of upgraded and eventually got a truck had a lot less problems. They had like, my hitch broke, it was like simple stuff. Whereas like people with food trucks is constantly breaking down. So that's what I learned on the job. I learned a lot about cars, something I never knew about. And now I like can look in there, or I can hear a noise and I'm like, okay, that's this, or the belt just popped off, or, because
Yeah.
I had to learn, I'm like, I'm almost a mechanic, but not quite. So get a good truck and just understand that it's going to be really hard in the beginning. No matter how you look at it, you're going to just get better. I'm getting better every day still, learning things. Oh man, we could have just put this right here and made it so much easier. Or, so it's okay. It's going to be hard. You're going to have long lines in the beginning. It'd be like, how are we going to service these people? You'll get better. That's what I learned. Is just, always be looking at how you can be faster, be better, but also don't lose sight of the quality, which a lot of food trucks do. It's we're in a business where you have 2 very different kind of food trucks. You have really strong, putting out really unique products, and then you have people who are just, they're not usually on their trucks. They're not a lot of owners, and that that matters.
What do you think the future is for food trucks?
More places like Truck and Tap, more areas that are just dedicated solely to food trucks. I mean, I'm on a page on Facebook that has people from all over the world, not just United States, that are in food truck industry, and it's insane. Like, they have this Pune food truck zone. It's like in India, and they have like 20, 30 trucks, and they've created this whole culture. And that's like where Atlanta needs to keep heading, is into the food truck culture and not so much of the food truck novelty. We need to really see food trucks as an everyday dining experience, just like any restaurant you go to, because people really are putting out some good quality, especially in the past 2 years, what I've seen coming on there. People really actually putting the passion and making their own food and all that. So yeah, I hope the laws and stuff will continue to shape, and there'll be more bars with bathrooms and tables that people can park their truck at and utilize, you know? I have a dream to see one big one that's just like, it may be an arena and rounded as food trucks, and in the inside there's seating and things that you can't offer someone in a parking lot, you know, because it's really hard. And sometimes it's 100 degrees in Atlanta and really humid. And people are like, oh, I'd love to eat on that truck, but
I don't want to stand outside.
Yeah.
No, that's a cool idea. That's unique.
It really is. I even have a name for it, but you know, anyone want to fund a food truck stop, let me know.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be cool, right? Like if you do it right and you kind of string lights and you just make it really unique. But that's what we need. Food trucks need more embracing from the community. They need to understand the element isn't bad. There's a lot of business people that are our customers, a lot of white collar people who go to work every day. You'd be surprised who the customers are. So there's always this kind of negative connotation sometimes with street food. And we can change our thoughts on that, because there's really good food on these trucks, and people who are just small business owners like me this is a great entry level for a restaurant, because restaurants are hard.
Sure. There's a lot of overhead.
It is.
Yeah.
And food truck is like, it's overhead heavy, but it's in a different way, and it's like more manageable, and you and one other person can get in there and work, versus where you really need four people working in more of a restaurant operation minimal, you know?
Have you ever been to Austin?
No, I want to go.
I went last year, and there's this area, and I can't think of the name right now, but I'll get it for you.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a millennial area, and it's this street in the back of a neighborhood, which is kind of weird, but Austin's weird. It's cool. And they have a bunch of different bars, and in the middle is a like food truck alley. And they have 4 or 5 different food trucks that like rotate every night, and they have tables set up and they have bathrooms. And then once you eat, you can go to the bars or vice versa, whatever.
Yes.
It's such a good concept. Like
I love that. Like, see, that's what we need. But Texas would be considered a top food truck city. I mean, in general, they really make it easy. Like California, New York, Portland has this pod parks, and it's like these mini little trailer pod things that don't really move, but they're like full kitchen operations inside of them. They open up, and it's like it's like you go there and there's any given day 1,000 people there eating at the food trucks. So it's like, wow, look at that. You know, it's just, they're using it as parking lots, for example. And they do the cars that park in the middle, and then on the perimeter, they have food trucks. So the food trucks create this more nicer appearance from the road, and the cars are kind of hidden within. So, you know, that's just a great concept, because we have a lot of parking lots here in Atlanta. So
there needs to be like a destination. Like I know the one at Austin, we went back pretty much every night we were there, just because it was so much fun. And because things changed every night, it wasn't like you're going to the same restaurant for dinner. You could switch it up every time. And then it also helped after drinking. We could bring stuff back.
Do you remember anything you ate there that you really liked?
There was one that had donuts. And so that was really cool, because they had all these different flavor of donuts.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great donut place here that's like that called Simply Done. And they have a truck as well. And they come to Alpharetta Food Truck Night often. And they do mini hot cake donuts. So you can get all different flavors. So if you're a donut gal, we have donuts on our menu too.
Oh, really?
Really good ones. They're like puffy.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
And we were thinking about maybe even filling them. But yeah, I'm a donut gal too. So I'm glad it's like good that you said that. I love sweets. So.
Me too.
Do you remember any street food experience that you had that you really enjoyed?
Well, I remember the first time that I had Indian food was at Food Truck Alley in Alpharetta. Ooh. And I had tikka masala, or cheese cubes with tikka masala.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah. It's basically the cheese cube they put that in a lot of stuff.
Right.
And the tikka masala is one of my favorite flavors. Mm-hmm. Love Indian.
That's the one that stands out the most, because I'm not really big into Indian food.
Right.
But, you know,
you took a risk. And I think that's what you should do with food trucks sometimes, you know? It's like, I wouldn't ordinarily eat that. Looks cool. You know, maybe I'll give it a try. So
my favorite meal that I've ever had from a food truck was mac the cheese food truck.
Yeah.
I love mac and cheese, and they have such cool, unique flavors, like you're saying. that normally I wouldn't
Yeah,
think
they have
about
like a
it.
spinach one.
Yeah.
They have some crazy buffalo chicken one.
Yeah. They had one that was succotash, so corn and lima beans, which I love succotash just like to eat for dinner. But
Is that a thing?
succotash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I always Sylvester from Looney Tunes always said.
Slytherin.
Slytherin
Succotash.
Succotash.
Yeah, I never knew it was an actual thing.
It is.
Yeah, that's what it's called when you mix corn and lima
And like
beans.
beans. Yeah. We
It's
used to
so
have a
good.
succotash at my other job with tomatoes in it too, and it was so good.
Yeah. And so on mac and cheese, I don't know, because I was like, I like mac and cheese, I like succotash, and then combined, and it was so good, but I wouldn't have thought about it.
Right.
So I like food trucks for being able to try things that you would normally think about, you know?
And then you go home and you're like, how can I recreate? Yeah.
Or where will they be next?
I know, right?
When can I eat that again?
Yes. Who doesn't love mac and cheese? Mm-hmm. I mean, they always have a line.
Yeah.
Because mac and cheese is like a huge hit. Kids, adults, we all like it, you know, so.
Do you guys change your menu often?
It's all pretty much the base menu that comes. So like, but we do like little specials to keep it like exciting for customers. But we definitely notice we have customers that want to have the same thing every time, and we love y'all and we know your orders by heart. But then we also have like the meatsadilla, just like a meatball quesadilla. People love that. You know, it's just we do it every now and then, just throw it out there. So that's, you know, the way to keep it exciting. But yeah, we try to keep it. I've learned in the restaurant industry for a long time, some people get freaked out by change, and they just like to know they can get the thing they love all the time. So that's kind of been our thing, is like, get attached to it and keep coming back for it. Mm-hmm. We want to get you addicted to these balls. I'm like, can I say that?
Yeah, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, meatballs. Yeah, we got it.
But yeah, our food truck even has a pretty cheeky slogan on the back, and I've definitely taken a couple of bad phone calls on my voicemail, but mostly a lot of really good reception. It's you won't regret putting our balls in your mouth. And it's balls with a Z, so people know, you know, it goes in theme. But I mean, it's definitely bold. So we do have an alternative slogan that says we keep on rolling. If you ever want to book us, okay, we can slap that one on there. So it's no problem.
If it's like a kid's birthday party or something.
Of course. Yeah. Man, some parents are like, take it off at the kid's birthday party. They want the regular slogan. So they're too young to know what it means, you know. So, but yeah, so we've had a lot of fun with that, and
I'm sure.
pushing the envelope with that, definitely. So
I would make so many jokes about that.
I get a lot of ball jokes, that's for sure. It's basically been all my dating life on social media has been for 2 years. So
How can people find out about you guys?
yeah,
Keep in touch.
so come to the cafe. That's Tuesday through Fridays. Okay, we're open from 9 until 4. Breakfast all day, but also lunch as well.
And that's in Alpharetta.
Alpharetta, inside of the Truck and Tap. We are serving Lavazza coffee, which you can't get everywhere. That is Italian imported coffee. So come by and see us for that. And then the food truck locations are going to be all on Facebook. I post them monthly, so you can always find us there. All right. And then catering, you just get in touch with me directly for that.
Awesome.
All right. Sunday brunch, too, at Truck and Tap. That's the one thing I want to end on. This is changing up the brunch game. We got mimosas, we got beer.
Oh, yeah, the new law.
Yeah, and it's starting at 11 now. So
Yeah.
come and see us, because we're going to give you a mimosa and the best Italian omelet you ever had.
Awesome. Well, Cara, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
These sandwiches are awesome. We'll be sure to post some pictures on our Instagram,
right.
which be sure to check out, lunchbreak_podcast. We're on Twitter, lunchbreak_GA. We're on Facebook. We're going to have a YouTube channel pretty soon.
All right.
So
awesome.
check all that out. Be sure to subscribe to our show, Lunch Break,
All right.
on iTunes, Spotify.
So just
and
Lunch Break?
This is not just for you. This is for all the listeners.
Oh, of course.
But
I want
no,
it
Cara,
too.
for sure,
I
yeah.
want it too.
Yeah, subscribe.
I like lunch. I want to know where you're eating. Well, thank you, y'all.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
That episode was tasty.